so critical in engaging with a technical, or I guess you could do it in-house, but following a hypothetical situation, you don't have the technical expertise in-house. At the point of engaging with a third party, when is the preferable time, and how critical is that to the outcome?
Yeah, I mean, it's just there's no such thing as too early, I suppose. Is the right thing. When you need to have everything in place before you excavate. That's kind of the hard deadline for having your documentation in place. But in reality, you're going to want to, from any approach, from a sustainability approach, you need to have an understanding of what you're going to do with your soils as you're looking at the site in the first place. You can have an idea on your surface requirements once you strip the site. You're going to have an idea on what you need to bring in if you're doing a cut and fill, if you're sort of filling hollows or you're regrading the site. You're going to have a rough idea on that. Now, these MMPs don't need to be accurate to the millimetre. There's things change throughout development life cycles where they go back to planning, or they adjust some proposals, or they shift some things around. You're not supposed to know what you're doing on a microscopic detail. You're just supposed to demonstrate that you have an understanding of what you've got on site and what you're wanting to do. But you also want to preserve your soils. So it's in a way, it's also, you want to know about how you're going to stockpile this material, where you're going to put it. You don't want to stockpile it for too long. We talked about topsoil as a resource, as a finite resource. It's a carbon source. If you are stockpiling it wrong, or you're getting your programming wrong, and you're chucking it for 4 years in the corner of the site, once you come to use that topsoil, it's not going to be a topsoil anymore. It's going to be degraded. It's going to be completely, all the carbon will be leached out of it. It's going to be useless, and then you have to get rid of it to landfill, and then you're like, oh well, now what am I going to do? So it's consideration of that in everything. We get involved with space on sites are often at a premium. Painting yourself into a corner, that kind of thing. We agree with the EA that they want to transfer material onto a nearby site, just store it there, and then bring it back. We get involved in that. The EA do allow that. So long as you get their permission. You can only stockpile for 12 months, unless you go to the EA and say why. You want to keep it longer, and then they'll give you a position statement or approval to do that. So it's just understanding really what you're doing, what you've got, to make sure that you're not causing yourself problems down the line, really, which is really important. So much of it comes down to education. I think it really is that, just people understanding that approach. We go into clients, we do a lot of CPD talks and everything to try to educate people of the process, and I think it's getting there. It's definitely getting there.